You don't carry a gun in the field. Not usually. That is not the job. The job is conversation. You are 25. You just finished the farm. 18 weeks in a place that doesn't appear on any public map, learning things that don't appear in any public curriculum. Surveillance detection, cover maintenance, asset development, the specific architecture of human trust and how to build it fast and use it carefully. Your instructor said something on week 3 that you've thought about every day since. He said, you are going to be very good at making people feel understood. The question is what you do with that. You didn't know what he meant then. You know now. First posting Vienna commercial cover. You are officially an attach at the trade mission. You have business cards that say this. You have a backstory that supports it. You have a desk in an actual trade office where you do actual trade work 3 days a week, so the cover holds. The other 2 days you develop relationships. You go to receptions. You remember names. You ask questions that feel like curiosity and are actually architecture. You are building something. Most people you meet will never be more than contacts. 1 or 2 might become something else. You identify your first target in month 4, a mid-level official at a foreign ministry. Access to communications intercepts, financially stressed, ideologically ambivalent. The profile fits. You run the approach over 6 weeks, coffee, then dinner, then a conversation that goes somewhere personal. You listen in a way that makes him feel like the most interesting person in the room. He is interesting, actually. That is the thing nobody tells you. The targets are usually interesting. That makes it easier and harder simultaneously. You recruit him in February. He signs nothing. There is no ceremony. There is a conversation in a car park where he agrees, quietly, to pass you documents in exchange for money and the specific relief of being understood by someone. You run him for 14 months. His name in your files is Cardinal. You know his real name. You use it when you talk to him. You call him by his real name because that is what makes him trust you. Cardinal is what you call him when you write the reports. The reports are good. The intelligence is good. Your chief of station is pleased. Washington is pleased. You are producing. In month 15, Cardinal goes quiet, missed meeting, then another. You follow protocol. You wait. You reach out through the secondary channel. Nothing. 6 weeks later, your chief tells you Cardinal has been arrested. Counterintelligence. The investigation started before you recruited him. You didn't know. You couldn't have known. The breach was somewhere else in the chain. He is sentenced to 11 years. You write the after action. It is accurate, it is professional, it is complete. You use the word Cardinal throughout. You do not use his real name in the report. You go back to work. You have 2 other development targets in progress. The mission continues. You tell yourself the mission continues. You believe this approximately 70%. Third posting, Kuala Lumpur. You are 33. You have recruited 7 assets across 3 countries. You know the fate of 4 of them. 2 are still active. 1 was exfiltrated when his cover deteriorated. 1 is Cardinal. You have learned not to use real names in your head. Cardinal, Nightbird, Arbor Prism. The cryptonyms create distance. The distance is functional. You need the distance to do the work. Your new chief is a woman named Helen, 20 years in. She has the specific stillness of someone who has seen most things and decided not to be surprised by them anymore. She calls you into her office in week 2. She says, you're good at this, the best at pitch I've seen at your level. You close fast, you read people well, and your assets stay productive. She pauses. She says, just make sure you know why you're good at it, because if you don't know, it'll cost you later. You say you understand. She nods. She looks like she is not sure you do. You think about her words for 3 weeks. You don't reach a conclusion you're comfortable with. You file it and move on. You recruit 3 more assets that year. You are very productive. Washington mentions your name in a positive context. You are on the list for chief of station in 4 years, maybe 3. You go home to an apartment that is not your real home because your real home is in Virginia, and you see it 4 times a year. You make coffee. You watch something on a laptop. You go to bed. You don't think about Cardinal. You've gotten good at not thinking about Cardinal. You've gotten good at not thinking about a lot of things. You are 41, your own station, a mid-sized European city. 12 officers under you, a full operational calendar. You run the station the way Helen ran hers, calm, specific. You call your officers in at week 2 and you say the thing Helen said to you. You say know why you're good at this, because if you don't know, it'll cost you later, you mean it. You hope they understand it faster than you did. A new target comes across your desk, foreign intelligence officer, second directorate, access to counterterrorism operations in 3 countries. The profile is exceptional. The potential is significant. You decide to run the approach yourself. Old habit. You're still better at this than anyone on your team. You make contact at a conference. You work the relationship over 8 weeks. Coffee. Then dinner, then a conversation that goes somewhere personal. He has a daughter studying in London. He is tired in a specific way that you recognize, tired of the institution, tired of the gap between what he was told the work was and what the work actually is. This tiredness, you've used this tiredness before. In week 10, something changes. You are having dinner. He asks you a question about your childhood that is more specific than it should be. You answer with your cover. He nods. He asks a follow up. The follow up is built on something you said in week 6, a small detail, something you said casually. He filed it. He is using it now to test the consistency of your cover. You answer cleanly. Your cover holds, but you are now paying a different kind of attention. Week 11. He expresses frustration with his own service unprompted. Specific frustration, the kind that makes a person seem recruitable. You watch him express it. You watch the way he watches you receive it. He is doing exactly what you do. He is building a picture of your vulnerabilities. He is using the techniques, not similar techniques, the exact techniques, the sequence, the timing, the specific deployment of personal disclosure to create reciprocal trust. Someone taught him your playbook, or he wrote the same playbook independently. Either way. You finish the dinner, you shake hands, you walk to your car, you sit in it for a moment. He almost had you, not almost got information, almost made you feel genuinely understood by a stranger. That is what the technique does at its best. You've done it to 40 people tonight, someone did it to you. He got about 80% of the way there before you caught it. 80% is closer than anyone has ever gotten. You go back to the station, you write the termination report, approach assessed as hostile intelligence operation. Recommend no further contact. You describe the interaction accurately. You do not mention that he got to 80%. You do not mention the specific moment where you felt briefly, genuinely seen by a man who was running an operation on you. You file the report. You close the folder. You go to the next target on the list. You are 47. You oversee 6 stations across a region. You manage chiefs who manage officers who manage assets. You are 3 steps from the actual work. Now, 3 steps feels like a continent. You review asset reports. You approve operational proposals. You recommend exfiltrations when covers deteriorate. You have signed 7 exfiltration orders in 4 years. 4 of them were in time. 3 were not fully in time. The math on the 3 is something you do not do out loud. Your wife is in Virginia. Your kids are in college. You fly home 6 times a year. Your son says, you always seem like you're thinking about something else. You say you're sorry. He says it is okay. He has been saying it is okay for 15 years. You're not sure it is okay. You say it is anyway. A junior officer in one of your stations loses an asset. The asset was burned. Counterintelligence. The investigation started before the recruitment. The officer couldn't have known. It is cardinal again, different name, different city, same structure. You read the after action. You call the officer. You say the things that need to be said. You say the breach was not his fault. You say the mission continues. You say go back to work. You believe this. You've believed it through 40 recruitments and 12 confirmed fates and 28 names you've stopped looking for updates on. You believe it enough to keep going. That is the only version of belief that matters in this work. Senate confirmation. Your name was in the news for 10 days. People who know you saw it. People who know you in specific ways did not reach out. That is the protocol. That is how it works. You manage 5,000 officers across 90 stations. You sit in the building every day. You brief the director. You brief the National Security Council. You sign off on operations that will affect outcomes in countries where people live ordinary lives in extraordinary circumstances. You have been doing this for 24 years. You have recruited, directly or supervised more assets than you can accurately count. The fates of some of them, not most. The ones you know were mostly okay. The ones you don't know, you have made a professional decision about how much space to give that uncertainty. Helen's question comes back sometimes. Know why you're good at this. You have a better answer now than you did at 33. You are not sure it is a comfortable answer. You know yourself well enough to know you are genuinely curious about people. You know yourself well enough to know that curiosity can be a gift and a weapon, and you have used it as both. You are good at this because you understand people, because you listen in a way that makes them feel seen, because you can find the specific shape of a person's need and offer something that fits it. This is also what good friends do, what good partners do, what good parents do. The difference is intent. The difference is what you do with the understanding once you have it. You have thought about this difference for 24 years. You have not resolved it. You have kept working anyway. You are 55, the seventh floor, your name on a door that means something significant to a small number of people and nothing to everyone else. You read everything. Old habit, your deputies summarize. You read the underlying material. You built your career on details. You are not giving up details now. An asset report comes across your desk. Active asset in a foreign capital. Access to nuclear procurement channels. Exceptional product. The case officer is 29 years old, 2 years in. Her technique notes in the operational file are very good. She reads people well. She closes fast. She is on the list for rapid advancement. You read her technique notes, you recognize the architecture, the sequence, the timing, the specific deployment of personal disclosure to create reciprocal trust. You taught a class at the farm 11 years ago. She was not in it, but someone who was in it trained her, or she figured it out the same way you did. The playbook propagates generation to generation. The technique teaches itself forward through practitioners who don't know where it originated. You initial the report. You move to the next file. You recruited 40 people in your career as a field officer. The fates of 12. 2 are still active under different handlers. 3 were exfiltrated. 4 were burned. The math on those 4 is the math you don't do out loud. 3, you simply don't know. No update, no confirmation, no report. Just names in a mental file that hasn't been updated in years. 28 you stopped looking for, not because they don't matter, because the looking has no end and the work has no pause, and at some point you made a professional decision about how much space to give 28 open files. You made that decision, you stand by it, you make it again every morning. Retirement, the 7th floor conference room, colleagues, handshakes, a citation you can never show anyone, a career that will never appear accurately in any public record. Someone gives a speech, they say you spent 30 years protecting people who will never know you existed. They say the country is safer for your work. They mean it. You believe it. Both of those things are true, and neither of them is the whole picture. You drive home, Virginia. Your wife meets you at the door. She has been married to a version of you for 28 years. The version with the real name, the version that comes home 6 times a year, the version that sometimes sits at the dinner table thinking about something else. She chose this version every morning for 28 years. You stand in the doorway. You look at her. You don't know what to say that isn't incomplete. You say, "I'm done." She says, "I know." She steps back. She lets you in. You sit in your own living room in your own house, and you are completely, fully present in a way you haven't been in 30 years. No cover, no target, no operational calendar, no cryptonyms. Just you, whoever that is. You're going to spend some time finding out. Right now, at the farm, a 25-year-old is in week 3 of a course that doesn't appear in any public curriculum. Her instructor is saying something she will think about every day for the rest of her career. He is saying, you are going to be very good at making people feel understood. The question is what you do with that. She doesn't know yet about the first asset. She doesn't know about the cryptonyms and the distance and the 28 open files. She doesn't know about a dinner in a European city where a man got 80% of the way through her defenses before she caught it. She doesn't know that the question her instructor just asked has no clean answer, that she will carry it for 30 years and arrive at something that is true, but not comfortable, and keep working anyway. She just knows she is good at this. She just knows the work matters. She just says yes. The farm has no public address. The cycle continues.